I'm Andy Katz from ESPN, along with my co-host Rick Klein from ABC News. On the latest edition of Capital Games, we're going to be joined by 538's Nate Silver. We're going to discuss comparing, predicting politics and sports, and Nate kind of leaves us with a pretty good prediction about the NCAA tournament.
Flashkey, Gutierrez, Isola, McMullen. Hello, everybody. Today, everything from week 9.
Touchdown, Oakland.
Are they complete or incomplete? Well, then I'm not happy.
It's too high for Kelsey. Oh, Kelsey is hot. Now he's ejected from the game. There's the shift. Including the worst, greatest onside kick ever.
Is it good as in bad or good as in good?
That was bad.
It's good as in Let's go around the horn.
Bad as in bad.
Kick it again. Nobody was noticing.
Is that...
It's Around the Horn, the show of competitive banter. Here's Tony Reali.
Latavius Murray over, under, and through. The Raiders 30, Broncos 20. Last time you saw Oakland operating like this was 2002 to get to Super Bowl 37. This team is young. This team is fun. Their punter celebrates. Israel, what does this win say about these Oakland Raiders?
Oh, man, there's nothing better than a swaggy punter. Listen, I think before the game even started, we all talked about how much potential they had, how much fun the offense was, and that was based on Derek Carr to, Crabtree and Cooper. We're talking about them rushing for 218 yards and holding the Broncos to 33 yards rushing. So they seem to have a complete package here. That defense is coming along. Khalil Mack is a freak. And they have potentially Aldon Smith coming back in a couple of weeks off a suspension. So it seems like things are coming together for this team. They have confidence. They won at home, which is surprising to them all of a sudden. I think they have all the makings. And that just shows you that, you beat the Super Bowl champs and you do it a different way. You can be pretty good.
Frank Isola?
I love that the owner, Mark Davis, wears that bowl cut, and he wears it very proud. And when you think about the team that they've put together, it's, they have the most expensive offensive line in football. And think about what they did. That's against the defending Super Bowl champs who won because of defense. And the 218 yards, that's the most that the Broncos have given up since week 5 of the 2012 season. So it's been a while. Derek Carr has only been sacked 11 times this season. So, Tony, as you know, a famous coach from Fordham, Vince Lombardi, said, you want to win in the NFL, you need a great offensive line, run the ball, protect your quarterback.
Jackie McMullen?
Yeah, and they protect their quarterback better than any other team in the NFL. The 11 sacks, the 21 quarterback hits, those are tops in the league. And that's exactly the thing that I like about it is you throw for 500 yards one week, and then you look at it and you say, okay, the Broncos are the best passing defensive team in the league. So you know what? We're just going to run to the left side to Donald Penn and the boys, and we're going to just trample you to the left side. At one run after another. And then when you start concentrating on that, then we're going to throw the ball just enough to beat you. I mean, you got to look at this and say, the way they've built this, you got to give Reggie McKenzie a ton of credit for this, too. He drafted well. He got rid of the high-priced guys that he knew he had to move on from. It's a really nice developing team.
We saw them win with 513 yards passing last week from Carr, Bill Plaschke. Now the rushing attack this week. Is this a team that can really be thinking about a playoff run and a chance at the Super Bowl this year?
A playoff run. This team can win the division. It's probably the toughest division in football. It can win that division. They're 5-0 on the road. Think about that. I think it all started, we knew there was something special. Remember when Jack Del Rio went for the 2-point conversion against New Orleans in the first game of the season. They win that game. Then they win the game in Tampa despite setting an NFL record for penalties. Then yesterday, they were up 13-0 before Denver even had a first down. You got to have a quarterback in this league. They got one, Derek Carr. You got to have a coach in this league, and Jack Del Rio is really reaching the people kind of in a Pete Carroll-esque kind of way. The players are all playing for him. They're balanced. Yes, Oakland's there, and now the black hole gets to be in play now for the first time in years. Tough place to play at Oracle.
Okay. Everything you all just said may be true today. Last week, the conversation was about those 23 penalties and how you can never trust these Oakland Raiders. To that you say what, Israel?
No, they won despite those 22-23 penalties last time, so they're probably better than the score would indicate, if you will. And I'll say this about that offensive line. David Carr obviously helps there because not only is can he escape those situations, but when teams blitz, he eats them up. And he did it to Denver yesterday, putting up significantly better numbers against the blitz than against just 4 pass rushers.
I think Las Vegas is really going to love this team. Here's the deal. After the off week, they get the Texans, the Panthers, and the Bills all at home. And Izzy and Bill talked about winning on the road. If they can take those 3 games, all winnable games, they put themselves in position to win the division.
Okay. What was that little start there that you had, Frankie? I think Las Vegas
is going to love this team. Is going to love this team.
What are you doing? A separate show? Frankie and the Vig on the fan. Let's go.
Moving to Vegas.
We'll move on. Buy or sell 2. Panthers 13, Rams 10. We want Goff chance in Los Angeles. Bill Plaschke, you were there. Pretty sure we can single out a few Plaschke for Pete's sakes in there in that cheering. You are of the opinion the Rams owe it to their fans to give him Goff. Please expound.
Absolutely. Give them Jared Goff right now. It can't be any worse. The Rams are not only playing bad, they're playing boring. They have 4 times already this season. They scored 10 points or less. That's the most in the league. Case Keenum just doesn't get it done. He had 3 tip passes yesterday. He missed Brian Quick deep for a touchdown. He had the interception that turned the game late in the game. They're 3-5, and in this town, you need to both entertain and try to win. Right now, they're doing neither. It looks like they're not. They're just trying to tread water.
You think they're losing fans because of this? Your column seems to suggest that.
Absolutely. You have the Dodgers off the great Dodgers success. The Lakers and Clippers off to a huge start. Nobody's talking about them out here. There's no buzz. They've lost the buzz.
Let me ask you this.
They've lost the belief. Bring in the kid. At least that's hope. At least that's
what's holding him back? What's holding Jeff Fisher from making this call to go to Goff?
The only thing I can think of is that he's in the last year of his contract, and he's thinking we want to be at least 8-8. Maybe Keenum will not lose them, will not lose every game the rest of the season. Goff might be terrible. At least he wants to try to tread water. And you can't do that anymore. You can't try to be mediocre. You have to try to be great. And if you're terrible, that's okay. At least you're entertaining. At least you're giving the fans hope.
Israel Gutierrez, how do you see it?
If he delays Jared Goff from starting, it's as if he's got this little secret in his back pocket, say, I have something that's going to make us better, just wait for it, okay? If he stays with Case Keenum, there's also, so it sort of extends his time there, if you will, Jeff Fisher. If he stays with Case Keenum, he always has that excuse in his back pocket. Well, don't worry, Jared Goff is coming. So he could delay this for his own benefit, but for the team and the fans' benefit, the better thing to do is to play Jared Goff. We know, no disrespect to Case Keenum, we know who he is. We know what he is and isn't capable of doing. And your fans know as well, so don't act like
my next question then, Israel, would be if he's got this little secret, but you're announcing the secret on national TV. What type of secret is it really if we all know this at this point?
I mean, he might be terrible. Jared Goff might be terrible, which really would send the fans away. So there's another theory.
Frank Isola.
Bill, you guys haven't had football out there for a long time. You're falling victim to the notion that every time a team loses, it must be the quarterback's fault. We do it in this town with both teams. You're making a big mistake because here's the deal. He's going to play at some point this season. You do not draft a guy number 1 overall and not play him as a rookie. There's no need to throw him to the wolves just yet. He'll get 5 or 6 games in. You're not going to be a playoff team anyway. They're going to wait until they think he's close to being ready. Then they'll put him out there. Be patient, Bill.
There's a lot of he's not ready, though, and I'm just wondering what's the holdup with that.
Makes no sense.
Was Dak Prescott ready? Well, he's out there starting week 1.
You don't want to destroy the guy's confidence this quickly. That's why.
And you aren't destroying it now? Come on, Frankie.
He'll play eventually.
Jackie Mack, you want to join in here?
Oh, yeah, I was hoping I might be on the show today. Actually, I think, there could be a scenario here where he's having trouble grasping the offense. That's the only thing I can think of why a young quarterback wouldn't be on the field yet, that he's not handling the play call very well. Because clearly with Keenum, 8 interceptions in the last 4 games. I will say this, Bill. Give Keenum 1 more week on the road and then bring him back at home to your decrepit old Coliseum and get the fans all revved up and see if they can carry him through.
My question would be, if we are talking about a play sheet that he can't really comprehend at this moment, if that's what it is.
He went to Cal.
Tony, I'm sorry. So sorry. A woman who lives where Fenway Park is cannot say a decrepit old Coliseum, Jackie. Shame on you.
All right. Let's not take offense at an old ballpark. My point here is, easy. Dak Prescott, Carson Wentz, the play chart they had was not exactly what I'm sure those teams wanted. You had to pare it down just a little bit. Why isn't Jeff Fisher committing to doing that here? That's my question, Bill.
Yeah, no, it's very legitimate. Carson Wentz has not been great the last 2 or 3, 4 weeks. That's okay. The Eagles are doing fine. They have to realize that there's going to be growing pains. We're ready to accept them here in L.A. We want some entertainment. We want some future. We want Jared Goff.
A lot of wheeze in there. We're going to give it a little mute. We're going to move on. Colts 31, Packers 26. Aaron Rodgers called his pack low energy, said they have a lack of juice for whatever reason. Frank, what do you think Rodgers is saying here?
Yeah, Rodgers, remember, he's the same guy that said relax last year, but he was talking about himself. To me, this is an indictment on the entire team. And when you're talking about guys not being motivated, up to play, I think he's talking about the head coach. And yet, once again, just like last week against the Falcons when the defense couldn't get a big stop when they needed, Yesterday against the Colts, try to get the ball back, and what happens? That defense never gets a big stop. And to me, Rodgers has declined a little bit. This is a complete mess, and it's going to fall on the head coach at some point.
You think McCarthy's on the hot seat?
Absolutely. 4-4, their worst record since 2009 after 8 games.
Jackie, the whole relaxed thing, that was 2 seasons ago for Rodgers. What is he saying this time?
I think what he's saying this time is not relax. The exact opposite. What my parents used to say when we had company to dinner. Sit up straight, take your elbows off your table, put the napkins in your lap, and perform. And I think it's kind of a passive-aggressive call out to his teammates, to his coaching staff, I think to everybody involved, and hopefully also to himself. He isn't having the best year, but you know what, Frank? I have a lot of sympathy for Aaron Rodgers. Jordy Nelson's still coming back, battling back from an injury. He doesn't look quite right. Cobb is banged up. There is no Eddie Lacy. He isn't getting a ton of protection. There are a lot of things wrong with the Green Bay Packers.
Go Plashke.
I understand what he's saying, but you have to wonder how much the players are listening. Rodgers, he has the 3rd worst passer rating of his career right now, the worst yards per completion of his career. He's not playing up to his standards. Yep. And I think that we talked earlier about the coach and the quarterback. The coach isn't coaching up to his standards either. It's the Mike McCarthy's 11th year there, and you're wondering if they're starting to tune him out. To lose a game at Lambeau that you were favored by 7 or more points, that rarely happens there. And to have that happen there is something that Packers have to look at long term.
Okay, so that's 2 on the panel here who's saying McCarthy's the fall guy here. Israel, do you agree with that?
Maybe. I think you might be onto something when you consider that Aaron Rodgers is saying this. And by the way, Aaron Rodgers sounds like a guy who's confused by what's happening. When you say lack of juice and enthusiasm, you don't know what's going wrong necessarily. But at the same time, the coach, Mike McCarthy, said they had their best week of preparation. So on one hand, you got the coach saying it's the best week. On the other hand, you got Aaron Rodgers saying they weren't ready, they weren't enthused. So maybe it is Aaron Rodgers saying, hey, McCarthy might want to get a look and maybe warm up that seat a little bit.
Over the last 20 games, they are under 500. And you want a stat here to go away with? Aaron Rodgers has the same number of 300-yard games as Cleveland Browns quarterbacks.
Wow.
I think we all need a shower after hearing that.
Give yourself
Buy or sell's next.
Hey, baseball fans, I'm Buster Olney. And on the latest Baseball Tonight podcast, we put a ribbon on the Chicago Cubs championship, and Jason Stark and Jerry Krasnick look ahead to what's going to be a very active offseason.
Buy or sell.
So there's the shift. Ravens respond.
New theory. NFL ratings down because of that kick. Actually should make them go up. That was amazing. This game was lucky to even get in that position. Pittsburgh down throughout. Criticism today that they went back to Roethlisberger too soon from his injury. Buy or sell that first, Bill Plashke.
I'm buying that. The Steelers punted on 10 of their first 12 possessions. He wasn't even ready to be in this game. Just because he's a tough guy doesn't mean you have to keep testing that toughness. Sometimes you have to protect the player from himself. And they had a bye week, so they could have given him 2 weeks off. Yeah, this was not a good idea.
I never know what's really happening with Ben Roethlisberger injuries, nor do you know what's really going to happen in Steelers-Ravens games. But if Ben Roethlisberger says he's available, I always figure he gives me the best chance to win, so I'm always going to throw him out there, even if it's literally with one leg.
Thank you. Bill, there are 16 games in an NFL season. You're playing a division rival on the road. He's been in the league forever. He knows his body. If he says he's ready to play, you put him out there, he's still their best option. I don't mind the move with him playing.
Okay, you guys, I understand why you're saying that, but you do realize that he is 2-6 lifetime in games back from an injury, which may suggest that he comes back a little too soon. I agree with you. I would have put him out there, too, because I think even a hampered Roethlisberger still gives you the best chance to win, and you saw all that rust coming off in the fourth quarter.
Can we please talk about Boswell's onside kick? I'm going to ask you to buy or sell that, knowing that he has successfully done the Rabona in college before. Seeing it play out yesterday, Plashke.
The fact that it's called the Rabonum in itself makes it worth doing. Absolutely.
Okay, Gutierrez.
I've done a lot of things in college that I can't do anymore. That was a bad
idea. Good one. All right, Isola.
Any soccer player worth his salt could make that kick. He just blew. That's
Frank.
all. I'm telling you, they can.
Spoil sport.
McMullen.
I'm buying it just for the gumption of trying it. Good for him. And then the frustration downfield, even with the flag. I like that, too.
So it really is the best, worst onside kick of all time. We'll move on. Buy or sell, too.
Were they complete or incomplete? Well, then I'm not happy.
Giants 28, Eagles 23. Phillies lost 4 of 5. They're going for it a lot on fourth down. Doug Peterson's offense. They passed up 2 field goals in the first half yesterday, got no points from it, and they lost by 5. Israel, buy or sell Peterson?
I'm going to buy him. If there's one way for you to get your players' confidence, it's to give them the confidence and say, yes, I know you can do this. Go ahead and get it. And then they'll just blame themselves if they don't execute. However, that 4th and 9 with 6 minutes left, down 8, that one was pretty questionable.
I sold it.
I don't like it. To me, you got to put the points on the board when you had a chance to in the first half. And here's the thing, too. You're talking about giving guys confidence, then give your rookie quarterback confidence. Put the ball in his hands, let him throw a short pass and get the first down, as opposed to those horrible running plays.
Jackie Mack?
I can see going for 4th down once in a while, but when it becomes your preferred strategy, at some point it's going to bite you in the neck, especially when you're on the road. And this losing streak is coinciding with a lot of games on the road with that said rookie quarterback.
So you're not a fan of going for it on 4th down all the time. If we were to check out how you play Madden on your free time, Jackie Mack, are you punting on 4th down? You go for it every time.
Well, let's just say that theory is flawed off the top, okay? Because I've never played it, all right?
Go Flash.
I was going to say, Jackie plays Madden. I think it's great. I think Peterson, he showed the faith in his guys. He may have lost the battle there, but he's going to win the locker room. The locker room loves that sort of thing. And, and furthermore, then him to come out later and admit that maybe he made a mistake and admit that maybe he's taking the blame for it. Players love to hear that. Love to see that. Good for Peterson.
Buy or sell 3, the Detroit Lions winning again at the death. Dramatics to force overtime. Gymnastics to win in overtime. The golden goal here, Frank Isola. You know it well. Who deserves the most credit for the W? Golden Tate for his effort, Stafford for the comeback, or Jim Caldwell for the motivation and coaching?
Yeah, Golden Tate's going to kill himself with that leap into the end zone. It's Matthew Stafford. He's done it 5 times this year. Game-winning drive, 4th quarter overtime, 25 times in his career. If it's Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, we're writing songs about these guys. Okay. So give the quarterback some credit, please.
Yeah, but I'm going to give Golden Tate a whole ton of credit. It really is him. But I am going to share with you, you do realize that Matt Prater hit a 58-yard field goal to send this game into overtime? And do you know he is 23 for 23 in game-tying or go-ahead field goals in the 4th quarter and overtime? 23 for 23. Give him some love. Let's see.
The stat queen, Jackie McMullen. Go Flashkey, how about you?
The last 98 times in the NFL, a team down by 3 points with less than 30 seconds left, with the ball in the 30-yard line or inside the 30, have lost the game. 98 straight times, The Lions won it. Matthew Stafford, 5th-ranked passer in the NFL this year, the highest passer rating of his career. He's what gets this done.
Just turned into numbers never lie. Israel, go ahead. The stats are yours.
I have no idea what Bill just said, so its numbers don't actually speak very well. I think Matthew Stafford got way too much credit here, Frank. He threw 2 lousy passes in that 4th quarter drive, and then Matt Prater saved his behind. And then he threw 1 pass to Golden Tate, who put on a couple of good moves, and he saved their behind. So, yeah, Matthew Stafford, no credit.
You're going to have to rewind and get the closed captioning, Israel. I was going to ask Bill to repeat it again word for word, but I won't let you.
I couldn't. I have no chance. I couldn't.
Tuesday night, done. Flash, McMullen. Showdown next.
I'm Andy Katz from ESPN, along with my co-host Seth Greenberg. On Courtside with Katz and Coach G, we'll be joined by Arizona head coach Sean Miller and Indiana head coach Tom Crean in advance of the Armed Forces Classic in Honolulu.
I want a flag. You don't get a flag. I want a flag. All right, you get a flag. Oh, yeah? You get a towel. Uh-huh. You get a hat. As far as ejections go, did Travis Kelce get his money's worth, Bill?
Absolutely. It was smart. It was funny. I don't know where that towel came from. It was in the back pocket, but it was really cute the way he did that. I think that was well worth the effort.
Well, I mean, I'm not a big fan of all the temper tantrums from the referees or from the player, but I do wonder how many times they've been in the locker room saying, I think someday I'm going to throw this towel. Then he threw it, and boy, how many times have the referee said, I'd love to toss off my hat and toss a guy out?
Yeah, it was a nice game of top it, I thought. We'll split the point. We'll move on. Showdown 2.
Hey, go to hell! Get a job!
Is it okay to respond to a heckler with, go to hell, get a job, if your coach has lost 4 or 5 like Tommy Tuberville? And is it all right for his school to back him after he apologizes by saying he was in a no-win situation like Cincinnati did, Jackie?
It's not all right for the coach to say that, especially when you've lost 4 in a row. You should be worried about your own job, not somebody else's. But he did apologize. I give him a pass. But the AD, absolutely no excuse. Just don't say anything.
Yeah, I thought
Bill,
it was kind of sad that the AD said a no-win situation. There is a way to win. That's not to say anything at all to take the high road, which eventually he did with the apology. Credit to the coach. Blame for the AD.
All right.
It all worked out.
You're both, Jackie, you're right. I mean, the coach can't be bringing up jobs if he's lost 4 or 5. And Bill, school can't be bringing up wins and no wins if they have a losing record. We'll move on. NBA. If the season ended today, first round of the Western Conference, 4-seed Warriors, 5-seed Lakers, which history's already proven is a win for L.A. Let's talk about Friday night, Bill Platsky. Was this more about the Warriors or Lakers?
I was there, and it was all about the Lakers. They're the most exciting and surprising team in the NBA right now at 4-3. They didn't win their 4th game until the middle of December last year with Russell and Randall and Luke Walton coaching them. They're fun. That's all about. They're finally fun again.
Okay. Yeah, no, but it was all about the Lakers because it was all about Luke Walton returning against the old team that he should have been named Coach of the Year of and stopping Steph Curry's 157 streak of three-pointers dead in its tracks. It was all about Luke Walton. Okay. Luke Walton.
No, it's about the players.
Well, I'm surprised that Plaschke thinks it's all about L.A. Bill, if you were to win this showdown, what would your FaceTime be about?
The L.A. Clippers.
Of course. But come on, how do you walk into that? Jackie, FaceTime.
You got to feel bad for the Philadelphia 76ers. Finally, Joel Embiid, after 2 seasons, gets on the floor, and he's immense. Did you see that takedown, beatdown block of LeBron James? He's playing great. He's unbelievable, and he's on a minutes restriction. He can only play a maximum of 20 minutes a night. He's got to sit out back-to-backs. And Okafor, at the same time, with his recovery from his knee injury, also was on a minutes restriction. So you finally have the 2 players that you want to build around, and you can't even barely put them on the same floor together. Will they ever get a break, these Sixers? I'm telling you.
But the Clippers are 5-1.
No,
they're
on a minutes restriction, Bill.
Before we go, we want to congratulate our friend and colleague Pablo Torre on his wedding this weekend.
Pablo.
Liz looked impeccable as always. Pablo also
check is in the mail.
And here's proof. What you see cannot be unseen. Ladies and gentlemen, Pablo Torre, the Wolf of Wall Street.
What are you doing?
See what I'm talking about?